wants me to feel. I can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. I gotta hold my head, I have no fear. It probably seems crazy, a graveyard theory. A ghost try to approach me, he got leery.
Spooky up in here. It's crazy in here. We still gon' keep it going, I'm Knuckles. Nobody scares me. Whoever want it, bring it. I don't care. We can do this. Then come step up to the plate and meet your match. It ain't no thing.
Knock, knock. It's Deven o'clock. And thank y'all so much for dropping on by on this Go Fast Friday, where I'm going to be continuing to read some Sonic definitely takes more than 5-minute stories. And had a lot of fun with this last Spin Dash Sunday, and looking forward to giving you hopefully 3 more. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how long it takes. But I hope you have had yourselves a wonderful week. And if not, I hope your time here helps make things just a little bit better. Hopefully a lot of bit better. And once again, it is always a pleasure to be joined by y'all. And nice to see some familiar names hopping on through. Moss, thank you so much for dropping by. I'm doing pretty okay. I have been enjoying the Twitter takeover. I did not expect it to be the same day as Go Fast Friday, but I'm gonna try my best to resist the temptation to check each and every single update. I don't blame you if you happen to do so. But yeah, I'm doing all right. And as I said on the Twitter, Sonic's miserable grumbles are like not Sonic's. Shadow's miserable grumbling is like music to my ears. And hey, J Bucket 20, thank you so much for the follow. That is very much appreciated, as well as Topaz Gaming 101. thank y'all so much for coming through, and I hope that y'all are doing well. Sally, thank you so much for dropping by. Norjack, it's good to see you. It's no worries if y'all not able to make it to every stream. Whenever you are able to be here, I am happy to see you here. And let's see. Sally, thank you so much for dropping by. Fancy boots. I do loves me some fancy boots. I'm also glad you enjoy the remix that was done by a fellow by the name of JX on the YouTubes. Yeah, glad you liked it. Shadow Sylveon, thank you for dropping by. And yes, I'm glad you are hyped for more bread time stories from the book that was found in the bread aisle at Walmart. So maybe it's not a book, maybe it has in fact been bread the whole time. Maybe all books are bread. Can we watch a movie tonight? Oh, that would be fun. I don't know if I'm able to have that happen on such short notice, but I would definitely love to have one happen again soon. Maybe, typically it's been Thursdays that have been movie nights, so maybe next Thursday. We'll find out in the chat who might be around for that, but I would love to do it again. And Nova, thank you so much for dropping by as well. Yee, it is good to see thee. And no, there is no raccoon today. It's Go Fast Friday. We have our contractual legal agreement that I do get to stream on these days most of the time. And Jovan GoBot Cadet, thank you so much for dropping by. Super Sci-Fi, it's good to see you as well. And Dodger and Sibuna, of course, could not forget you. And Rodent Knight, Squeak Squeak, thank you so much. All of y'all, Dari Bennett, thank you for dropping by. And Big Man, it is great to see you once again as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for dropping on by. I'll give you a close personal look, Norjack, at the bread. Do you think you can? Well, you know, from this angle, it does kind of look like it could be some sort of sandwich. So, you know, who knows? Maybe a book does belong in the bread aisle after all. It's a sandwich for papers. And Pink Ninja, I do remember you. Jay, I think you said you could be referred to, or JJ, correct me if I'm wrong, but thank you so much for dropping by. It's good to see you as well. All right, so hey, all good fancy boots, Sonic Unleashed is serious business that requires serious attention, so do what you must. I'm still happy to have you here all the same. Okay, so we are going to just get rolling around, possibly at the speed of sound, to our first story. Hey, this is fitting because you are playing Sonic Unleashed. The first one we're going to have today is Hunt of the Werehog. I actually have not practiced my Werehog voice, so I don't know what's going to happen here. We're going to find out. Oh, I totally forgot. I also have chat open on YouTube. I gotta get used to doing this dual streaming thing. But George Roby and Nilani Wilson and Terrell and Sonic and the Gumball Brothers and just your average Slash, thank y'all so much for dropping on by, as well as Selly over there as well. Okay, let me just find this page. Okay, here we go. Hunt of the Werehog, and not every page is gonna have pictures on it, but when there is a picture, I will make sure that you see it. All right, I think I'm gonna dip back into that sort of Vincent Price sort of creepy Halloween movie sort of voice. Here we go. Hunt of the Werehog. The shadowy monster crept into view and slashed its arms out towards Sonic the Hedgehog's face. In the dark and dirty corners of a city alley, it was hard to tell where the Black Knight... Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of a different game. It was hard to tell where the Black of Night ended and the creature began. But one thing was clear. The monster had terrible fangs and was biting forward with all its might. The creature shrieked its ear-splitting cry as it lunged right up in Sonic's face. And then, the screen cut to black. Sonic, Tails, and Amy stood in silent shock at the video they'd just watched.
This was taken last night, not 3 blocks from my laboratory, said Professor Pickle. And while it is the first definitive proof that these Dark Gaia minions have reappeared, we've been receiving reports of attacks for almost 2 weeks.
Dark Gaia? Said Sonic. That ancient monster was as annoying as he was butt ugly. It's no laughing matter, said Amy. I don't even know what my narrator voice is. And I did read some of this on a previous stream, just as a little preview, so it will be a little familiar. It's no laughing matter, said Amy. Last time that creeper broke free, he nearly destroyed the whole planet.
Oh, quite, said the professor. As a hyper-energy organism birthed at the dawn of time, Dark Gaia is an immeasurable, unfathomable power that can
You know what? I think that my professor voice sounds a little bit too much like my narrator voice. So I'm just going to narrate as just me now. We're just doing that. We're going to figure this out as we go. I am breaking the fourth wall, and you got to deal with it. I apologize. Here we go again.
Quite, said the professor. As a hyper-energy organism birthed at the dawn of time, Dark Gaia is an immeasurable, unfathomable power that can pose a great threat to the planet. His minion's reappearance raises the question, has the monster somehow re-emerged from his ancient slumber?
Sonic zipped around the lab at hyperspeed. If that Lord of Destruction is back, I'll swat him down like the first time we clashed, said the Hedgehog as he skidded to a stop. Sonic, you've got to do more than show off, said Amy. I only saw the dark minions from a distance, and I know they can have a serious effect on people. You're worrying over nothing, Amy, said Sonic. The only effects of Dark Gaia's energy were that I got a bit furrier, and these little monsters are probably just stragglers, and we took them out before with little more than a flashbulb camera, right, Tails? The Fox had been studying the video footage closely. Well, I have been tinkering with a better light-based gadget to help destroy Dark Gaia's minions since our first encounter. A kind of super camera, he said. Come on, man. Way past cool, said Sonic. So let's you and me hit the street and blast these beasties off the map. You better get started quickly, said Amy, looking out the window. The sun is going down as we speak, and when that happens, the dark minions will come out. Night or day, there's no way I can't... I can't... Oh! Cried Sonic as his body began to shake. As the sun fell below the horizon, a strange purple smoke rose up from the floor and enveloped the hedgehog. His eyes bulged in pain. His teeth and quills throbbed, then grew in size. The tips of his fingers sprouted thick claws through his gloves, and in a moment, the hero had somehow morphed into a monster himself. Sonic the Werehog! Cried Amy with fear. You're not supposed to be like this!
What's happening to me, Professor?
Sonic growled as he flexed his shaggy arms.
Oh, astonishing! Cried Professor Pickle. It seems returning to my city and coming closer to this new wellspring of Dark Gaia energy has reignited your Werehog form. You were always able to resist being fully taken by the darkness, but it appears that your long transformation left you susceptible to the monster's energy.
Maybe Dark Gaia has returned, said Tails.
If that's true, then things are about to get a lot more exciting, said Sonic. Let's go!
Wait, said Amy as Sonic rushed to the door. I'm no expert in Dark Gaia, but I think you'll want my help.
It's too dangerous,
said the Hedgehog as he leaped out of the lab and into the night.
Come on, Tails, let's get that gizmo charged.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but slow it down, Sonic, called Tails. This thing is heavy. The Fox flew up behind his friend, equipped with the dark minion blasting invention he called the Flashbanger. The device consisted of a golden power cell Tails wore like a backpack, and from there, cords wound down to his arms to two massive gauntlets. each made his arms into bulb-like fists that could blast a beam of concentrated light. On Tails' wrist was a small screen that recorded images of his targets to steal their power.
What good is that thing going to be if we can't find any of these dark minions, Tails?
Said Sonic as his eyes scanned the skyline. If they were really here in force, oh, he's actually saying that.
If they were really here in force, we should have found something, anything in the city by now.
It's far too quiet, said Tails. But if you're still in Werehog mode, there's gotta be something out there. And hey, here's finally a picture of him in Werehog mode.
Where? This transformation makes me feel so itchy. It's like I've got fleas, but there's nothing.
It's almost as if the minions have gone into hiding. That's not their style at all. At that moment, an eerie scream rang out in the distance of the cold night. It sounded like someone was equal parts terrified and in horrible pain. I don't know who's screaming, but we'll find out. That could be something, said Tails. Sonic sped down the hill at top speed. His newly gray fur rippled with anticipation as he lumbered forward. The scream was coming from a small square, barely lit by flickering streetlights. As Sonic zeroed in, he saw a young woman bent over and pulling at her own hair. "It isn't fair! It isn't fair!" cried the woman, her back to the Werehog. Can't anyone do something?
Hey, lady, it's going to be okay,
said Sonic as he slowed to a trot and reached a hand out. She spun around with an angry jerk. "What could you possibly know about it?" she yelled. The skin around her eyes was dark and an unnatural shadow. The woman sank to her knees in despair. "Oh, it's too late!" All around the edges of the square, purple shadows swirled. Suddenly, dark minions began stepping out of the darkness. Their bodies throbbed with strange neon light. Their empty eyes twitched. Their bodies formed into the shapes of sharp spikes, slithering tails, and wagging tongues. They were closing in.
All right, you little slugs, called Sonic. It's time you let this woman go and crawl back to where you belong.
The Werehog dove headfirst into the pile of minions and tried to draw them away from the woman. Skittering around the square again and again, Sonic punched the dark minions with his newly extended powerful arms. But each time he came close to a minion, the creature somehow slid out of his claws' reach.
Come out and face me, cowards!
He cried and began swinging. But even with his hyperextended Werehog arms, the beast remained frustratingly out of reach. Fresh! 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 3 bursts of light flashed overhead, and the dark minions began to reel back and squeal their horrid cries. It was Tails and the Flashbanger. "Don't let them escape, Sonic!" the fox called, snapping the supercharged device.
Right!
Sonic used his now extended arms to place all the objects in the square that he could reach at each of the exits to track the minions. This is definitely kind of, sort of funky music, but not da 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 ba da ba da ba ba. Wish I had that queued up. As the space lit up with Tails' flashes, the minions had nowhere to run, except up. "They're escaping up that building!" cried Tails. The Werehog used his arms by lengthening them and climbing up the walls quickly. But just as he was about to grab the army of fleeing minions near the building's roof, a bubble of dark energy burst before him like a shadowy grenade. Shwoom! The force of the blast hit Sonic hard and tossed the Werehog off the building's side like a rag doll. Sonic landed on the street below with a crash. And though his Werehog form was strong enough to absorb the impact, his pride took a beating that would sting for days. "Are you okay?" asked Tails.
I'm fine,
Sonic said, looking up at an empty sky and wondering if Tails was doing a Terry Bogard impression.
Which way did they go?
I lost them trying to flashbang. Wherever that energy blast was, said Tails. And I think the sun is about to come up. What happened? Asked the woman. She struggled to stand. Her eyes looked clear of Dark Gaia's influence.
You took a hit from something otherworldly,
Sonic said. It was strange, said the woman. I was out for a pre-dawn run, and I felt this force telling me I was destined to be alone forever. Like I was the last person left on this planet. Sonic and Tails made it back to Professor Pickle's lab just as the sun was rising. The effects of the Werehog transformation had worn off, but it had left Sonic wiped of all energy. I need to recharge my batteries. Then we'll track down those minions and figure out what they're up to, he said. It's the second part I'm worried about. Tails yawned as he flipped through the images on the flashbanger screen. They've never been quite this tricky. It makes me think Dark Gaia has returned. Perhaps not, said Amy from behind the Gaia manuscript, but he may be close to resurfacing. The usually bouncy pink hedgehog dragged herself over to the other two, and the pair could see deep rings underneath her eyes. I've given up all night reading the...
I read that wrong.
I've been up all night reading the professor's ancient Gaia manuscript, she said. I wanted to find the secret to what's happening, and I think I have something. Come on, Amy, said Sonic, patting his pal on the shoulder. That moldy old manuscript is full of double-speak and weird riddles. Don't drive yourself crazy trying to figure them out. But I really think I have something, she said. What I think the manuscript says is that while Dark Gaia slumbers, his extant energy...
Extant? I don't even know that word.
His extant energy can sometimes scour the planet in search of its master. If the Dark Minions are attacking people, it may be because they're looking for someone to take place of their lord. Then, who's this? Said Tails, dropping the flashbanger's view on the screen.
That's also not right. My apologies.
Said Tails, dropping the flashbanger's view screen on the table. The picture was of the rooftop where Sonic had been blown back. Thanks to Tails' burst of light, the team could see the Dark Minions retreating over the ledge. But there was something else. A shadowy figure seemed to stand on the roof, calling the minions back with a blurry wave of its arm. Whoa, said Sonic. Good catch, pal. There's some mastermind behind this whole scheme after all. But do you think Dark Gaia could have returned at this smallest of a size? It could be him, said Tails. He may have taken a different form, but he can consolidate his energies again. But, said Amy with a yearning voice, my research says that's not possible. Don't sweat it, Amy, said Tails as he headed off to bed.
I think I'm too tired to read properly, too.
Your hammer comes in handy for bashing the occasional robot, but leave this spooky stuff to the professionals. After a day of fitful sleep for Sonic and Tails, night descended on the city once again. But there was a strange energy in the air as the moon rose, and Sonic felt as he transformed back into the Werehog.
And there's no second chances tonight,
he told Tails as they hit the streets.
I can feel it in my bones. I wonder if we can really seal Dark Gaia again.
And the minions were out in force as Sonic sped through the city streets. The inky beasts seemed to taunt him, along with the everyday citizens whom they possessed at every turn. Everywhere, people were crying out, "What's the point? We're all so alone!" At each turn, Sonic would swoop in to save citizens, while Tails delivered a 1-2 blast from the flashbanger to shake off the Dark Minions. But the creatures never stayed long after a fight.
This is infuriating,
Sonic growled as another batch of minions escaped down a sewer drain.
What are these things even trying to do?
Tails flipped through his screen for any kind of clue. I'm not sure what they're getting by terrorizing these poor people, but I do think I know where they're going. He pulled up a map of the city that blinked with red lights. Do you see the pattern here? every time we drive the minions off, they run towards this older section of town.
Then let's go smash it!
The Werehog said, and shot off towards the outskirts. As he reached along, Sonic was irritated. It wasn't just the effect of the dark magic that made him a beastly Werehog. He hated not being in control, not being fast enough to bash in a bad guy's face. "Sonic!" called a strange voice. The Werehog slowed down outside an alleyway that ended in a large pit like the mouth of a cave. "Sonic! If Dark Gaia wants me, he's gonna get more of me than he can handle."
Maybe it's Dark Gaia. I don't know what the voice is.
Sonic said and raced down underground. Suddenly, he was surrounded. The dark minions crawled out from every corner of the cave and screeched and squealed at Sonic as he ran. But they didn't attack. Instead, the creatures descended on the mouth of the cave and began clawing at the rocks around it. Vroom! In a second, the entire opening was closed off in darkness.
Tails!
He said, realizing too late.
Now I'm all alone without the Flashbanger's help. So be it.
Sonic worked his way deeper into the dark with only the light of the dark minions' glowing bodies to guide him. They kept their distance from the Werehog, but up ahead, he could see the shadow of their leader standing on some strange altar.
Oh no, I don't remember Dark Gaia's voice. I'm gonna take a quick peek. A quick tweak. Okay. Dark Gaia voice. What do you sound like? It's been far too long. Japanese voice one, that'll do.
Okay, it's very deep.
That's what I'm going with. I don't remember. And Pink Ninja, thank you so much. I'm glad you're liking it. Alright, so here we are at Dark Gaia, whose voice in English I still don't remember.
So, you finally came to me, eh, Sonic?
Said a voice that was both squeaky
And thunderous. Okay.
Without me, you could have never found this energy source.
Now it's become a little bit, almost Starscream-like.
Well, now that I'm here, I'm gonna bust your butt up all over again, Dark Gaia.
The leader laughed.
You think I am the last Dark One?
Oh, wait.
You think I am the Dark One? His power is still hidden at the planet's core, but this energy source called out for someone to care for it. And I answered that call.
Well, if you're not Dark Gaia, who are you? Who are you? It's not in the story, that's me actually wondering.
With a swing of a hammer, the leader leaped up and struck the ceiling.
Uh-oh, you're not Amy, are you?
A hole broke open, and the minions detected Dark Gaia energy leaking from this place, letting it in just enough of the moonlight.
And I, being obsessed with Dark Gaia, came here too. Amy?
I was right. Oh wow, I didn't expect to be right.
Sonic couldn't believe his eyes. His friend was swirling with Dark Gaia energy. Her pupils were a solid black with the glow of red energy, and her quills rippled with the same power that had turned him into a Werehog.
Surprised?
Said Amy with a weird smile.
The energy of Dark Gaia was calling to you, Sonic, but you ignored it, just like you ignored me. Amy, I didn't mean to.
But Sonic didn't know what to say.
I was obsessed with the Dark Gaia energy as I studied the minions' actions. I had no idea how powerful it truly was, and it brought me here. I'm sorry, said the Werehog, but whatever this is, it isn't the answer. Oh, is it not? Said Amy, lifting her hands. I was able to study the Gaia manuscript. Was I not able to gather every single remaining minion in one location? Admit it, Sonic. I have more skills than you thought. Okay, okay. I should have asked for your help. I shouldn't have done this alone. But what do you want me to do now, Amy?
I want you to watch as I do this, she said as she swung her hammer with ridiculous speed at the ceiling. Pieces of the ceiling rained down around her before Amy cried out, "Now, Tails!" Flash, flash, flash! From above, Tails rained down blasts from the flashbanger, and the dark minions had nowhere to go. Their screams were brief, but sharp as one by one, the army of monsters saw their power stolen by Tails' machine, and they evaporated into smoke. Amy floated in for a moment in the hole she had created, but as the Dark Gaia energy left her, she fell like a stone into the cavern. Sonic rushed forward to catch her, and as she collapsed in his arms, he realized that he himself was a hedgehog once again. "Sorry to scare you, Sonic," Amy said. "It was hard to fight off Dark Gaia's influence, but I knew I could beat him if I tried." "It was crazy for me to doubt you, Amy," said Sonic. "And it would have been easier for you if I asked for your help from the start." "So, you don't think I'm a monster?" Amy asked. "We can all turn into monsters sometimes," said Sonic with a laugh. "But with friends like you, it's easy to turn back."
That took a turn that I was not expecting. Okay, that was Hunt of the Werehog. I hope that y'all enjoyed that, and oh my goodness, trying to do that Werehog voice definitely made me very lightheaded, but it was very well worth it. Oh, I love that even I didn't know if it was Dark Gaia or actual Amy as I went along, and I called it. But thank you so much, everybody, for the kind words. I'm gonna just take a little bit to recharge before we head into the next one. And meantime, as always, if you have any questions for me, whether they are voice acting related, Sonic Prime related, Sonic in general related, or maybe even me related, I will try my best to answer. And hey, Jonathan, Bo, thank you so much for dropping by. I have been enjoying the Twitter takeover myself. It makes sense that he would be doing a voice that's much more in line with what he does in Sonic X Shadow Generation. So that is the direction he was given, I imagine, and it works well. Moss, thanks so much for dropping by, and have a wonderful rest of your day. What do I think Aaron's favorite color is? Says Pink Ninja. I would think probably that kind of goldish, orangish yellow that he's got going on. I just assume every ninja's favorite color is in line with what they will be wearing. Will I be watching the Sonic 3, the Sonic 3 second trailer? I've been trying to avoid the spoileries on most things that I look forward to seeing, but if there's much demand for me to watch and react to it when it is out, then I will watch it here. Maybe. We'll see when we get there. What is my favorite color? I don't know if you were around when I answered this before, but in case you weren't, I don't know if I have a favorite color as much as I just have favorite combinations of colors. Like I enjoy gray and blue together. I enjoy gold and black as combinations. But as far as a favorite individual color, I'm not sure. It might be blue, but I don't know. I really don't know. But that is the best I can give you. Nova says, I'm not watching the second trailer. The first trailer was plenty. You know what? That is totally fair and totally valid. I mean, there's a lot of trailers these days that practically give you the movie away. And if we do have any certain pink hedgehogs showing up at any point during the movie, I would hope they wouldn't put that in a trailer. I would really, really hope. Somebody had asked on the last stream I did. I'm not sure if it was you though. Nevada's Galaxy says, boy voice thing is going pretty well. I'm glad to hear. Wondering if you have any tips regarding range expansion. Currently trying to reach 2nd octave. I would say this is making my advice sound very terrifying. So I would not say that I'm much of an expert when it comes to like the physical qualities of the voice and how the vocal cords work as an instrument and all that and as a muscle. So please take my advice as a non-professional style. But I know something that can be relatively harmless is to just practice singing the scales, going like da 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 da. And that's just as low as you can comfortably go, and maintain that note. And if you do that routinely as a warm, I think it'll be easier for you to gradually just go deeper. It's kind of like flexing a muscle at the gym. The more you kind of work it out in that way, the more you will have comfort with a wider range. Also, there was something that I missed that I wanted to see. Oh, Topaz Gaming says, I have news, I'm gonna try voice acting. Yo, right on. Well, I wish you the best with that journey. And again, any questions you have about voice acting, I'm happy to answer. Watched all episodes of all 3 seasons, and I love the voice and loved the story. Yo, well, thank you again so much. I had an absolute blast getting to do that. Especially I should press the button, put the filter on.
Especially the Double Trouble episode, doing the Chaos Sonic thing.
So yeah, again, I'm glad you enjoyed hearing it. It really still seems like a surreal dream. I don't even fully, truly accept that it actually happened, that I actually got to voice Sonic. But again, it means the world to me that for a character who meant a lot to me growing up as a young kid, it means a lot to me that I'm now able to help carry on the legacy of that character, even in any small fashion. It's an honor, and again, I'm really, really glad that you enjoyed it, and I wish you the very best with your own voice acting journey. For the Chaos Sonic, well, the voice itself,
The voice itself is just me kind of doing the 1990s Jaleel White sort of thing. That's no good.
but the actual robot sound, I press a button,
And then it sort of doubles the voice, so then I can sound like this.
and I'm sure there was some sort of well thought out filter that the engineers put on as well. I'm not exactly sure what kind of filter that they used, but for the actual show, the engineers, the post-production people put something on. Not sure what it was, but I tried my best to duplicate it with what I have set up over here. Let's see. And also, hey, Mahler, Guten Tag, thank you so much for dropping by. It is good to see you. And Rodent Knight says the actual professional style advice comes from Raccoon. Well, I mean, he is and was always a professional toon ever since he was first drawn, so I have a tough time arguing with that. Definitely a tough time arguing with that. Pink Ninja says, in a SpongeBob episode called Karate Choppers, wherein Ninjago... Oh, I saw this SpongeBob episode called Karate Choppers, wherein Ninjago, Aaron, and Kat would do the exact same thing, doing karate as well, and becoming so obsessed with it as well. They do karate at home and in public, and over the phone as well. Over the phone actually sounds hilarious. Get carried away with their activity that it costs Aaron's training with Lloyd. I'm not sure where the discussion of SpongeBob ended and the discussion of Ninjago began, but even so, a karate episode of SpongeBob, and I sadly have not seen a ton of SpongeBob. That does sound very fun. And Shadow Sylveon, that is so true. Definitely be careful to not do anything painful, because you do not want to have permanent damage. I will tell anybody, if you are doing a voice and it is hurting you, you should probably, most certainly, stop doing that voice. Super Sci-Fi says, really awesome that you got to be among the few who have had the chance to walk in those iconic red sneakers. I could only dream to officially join that same alumni. Yeah, it's so totally wild. When I first got the audition, I got the email from my agent telling me about the auditions. I was like, wait, what? Even auditioning for it felt like a dream and not a real thing, let alone actually getting the role. But life is kind of full of surprises. You never really know how things are going to turn out. And Emma Jane, thank you so much for dropping by as well. And Life of Jace and Dragon Slayer and Vocable Pencil. Yo, thank you so much, all y'all, for dropping by. Am I enjoying voicing Aaron for Ninjago? I absolutely love Aaron Ninjago. I am so glad that I actually ended up reading the audition that I was asked to read for multiple times before I actually did it. Because I didn't know, and I was not told, that the character had been written with me in mind. And he's just a good, wholesome boy who wants to bake wholesome pies for everybody and absolutely did nothing wrong and never has. So yes, being a part of Ninjago once again, because I initially started as the Skull Sorcerer, being a part of Ninjago once again is just an absolute joy. And at some point in time, I will definitely be building some figures here once again. Figures? No, not figures. I'm forgetting the terminology. Sets. I will be building Dragon's Rising sets here at some point in the future. I'm just waiting for a certain something to be released. Dragon Slayer, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think that Aaron has done anything terrible at all. He just wants to find his parents. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. He's the goodest boy who will never do anything wrong. Okay, so let's look at our next story. And that is going to be the Not So Fantastic Journey. All right. I'm probably gonna reset the music because this playlist is nearing its end. Let's go back here. All right. This is a Not So Fantastic Journey. Wham! Another robot slammed into the wall, breaking in two, now inanimate, pieces of junk metal. Sonic turned around to see that it was Knuckles who had stopped the robot right before it had reached him. He gave him a quick nod as they both kept fighting and shouted, I don't know which one's saying this. Thanks! That was a close one! Probably supposed to be Sonic. The day began just like any other. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy Rose learned that a small army of Dr. Eggman's robots had descended on the city and were wreaking havoc everywhere. As usual, the team raced to the scene and leaped into action. Sonic sped up and down buildings, leaping off them, smashing through the outer shells of robot after robot. Tails weaved his plane in and around the cityscape, blasting robots into oblivion. Knuckles and Amy used their strength and fighting skills to dominate several other robots. It almost seemed too easy, and perhaps it was. Not far from the scene of the battle, Dr. Eggman observed the fight between his creations and Team Sonic from a floating platform. Smiling, he pulled a small remote control from his pocket. He pressed a small button on the side of the remote. Suddenly, from beneath the platform, a swarm of what appeared to be bees formed a cloud around Eggman.
Finally, my ultimate plan has come to pass. These robot bee stings will inject Sonic with tiny nanobots that will take over his cellular structure and turn him into a robot. A robot that I can control.
Eggman said and laughed.
Fly, my pretties!
The swarm drifted high into the air and began the flight towards Sonic and his friends in the city. Unaware of the oncoming cloud of robot bees, Sonic stood with his friends in the middle of the carnage and smashed and shattered the remains of the evil robots surrounding them. "Nothing like totally winning another fight with Eggman's loser bots," Sonic said, his friends laughing.
Oh, Sonic, Amy giggled. You were amazing as always.
Tails and Knuckles rolled their eyes at each other. "You're right, I was," Sonic said.
Whatever, Knuckles said. You couldn't have done it without us.
"Good so," Sonic replied, pretending to be offended by his friend's words. "What I really don't understand is, why was it so easy to beat these robots up? Something's up." Oh, that's actually Tails who said that. I'm gonna go back and do it again in the Tails voice.
What I totally don't understand is, why was it so easy to beat these robots? Something's up.
Tails said, sounding unusually worried.
Easy? There were like 1,000,000 robots. That wasn't easy,
Knuckles protested. "No, he's right," Sonic said. "It's almost like it was supposed to be a distraction. Eggman's up to something." Tails raised his hand. "Shh! What's that noise?" he asked. The group went silent. In the distance, they heard a humming noise. It grew louder and louder. The sky darkened as the cloud of bees shrouded the sun. What is that?" Amy asked, her voice quivering. "Eggman's distraction," Sonic said. The cloud of robot bees shrunk and morphed into an almost solid cube. The cube picked up speed as it hurled towards Sonic. The speedy hedgehog was poised to strike. Just as he was about to run toward the cube exploded into a spherical swarm. Each of the thousands of robot bees pointed their stingers towards Sonic and were moving down on top of him in sphere formation. Sonic's eyes grew wide. He'd never seen anything like it before. Paralyzed in wonder, Sonic could only stare as the bees moved faster and faster closer to him. "Sonic, move!" Tails yelled, but it was no use. Sonic was hypnotized by the bees. Knuckles jumped into action. The red echidna climbed rapidly up the wall of a nearby building and sprang off towards Sonic. The bees were getting close, only inches from Sonic. Knuckles collided with Sonic, slamming the hedgehog to the ground and out of the bee's path, snapping him out of his hypnotic trance. Sonic stood just in time to see the sphere of bees cover Knuckles, stinging him all over his body. Seconds later, the bees regrouped as the cube flew away, high into the sky. Sonic, Tails, and Amy stood over Knuckles.
Oh, what happened?
Knuckles managed to say as he moaned.
I don't feel right.
"We've got to get him back to my lab,"
Tails said urgently.
"No, not the bees. Not the bees."
I wish that was in there somewhere, but I was definitely thinking, and I'm glad you were too, Cherina. Back in Tails' lab, Knuckles was flat on his back and connected to several different machines. The brilliant fox was examining a strange spot on Knuckles' arm.
"Guys, come check this out,"
Tails said. Sonic and Amy joined him, peering at the weird metallic spot that was growing on Knuckles' arm.
"I think the bees are turning Knuckles into a robot,"
Tails said. Oh, that's definitely creepy. It's definitely kind of creepy. Did I ever watch the Sonic Unleashed short clip called Night of the Werehog? I don't know if I actually saw that. I know I saw parts of that, but I don't think I ever saw the full thing. I might have to do that very soon.
"How is this possible?"
Amy asked. Sonic turned away angrily. "Eggman. He has to be behind this. These robots we beat were a distraction. Like we thought. A distraction so those bees could sting me and turn me into a robot." "Exactly," Tails said. I think those bee stingers injected Knuckles with a microscopic nanobot. They're rewriting his body and turning him into a robot. Amy teared up. Is there anything we can do? I have one shot, but it's a long one, Tails said. We have to get inside Knuckles and destroy the nanobots that have started to take over his body. Inside? Amy asked, confused. Yes, Tails replied, walking along the lab to a large machine topped by a laser. We can use the super shrink ray and enter his body through that robotic spot on his arm. I'm going in, Sonic said. I thought you might say that, Tails said. Here's what I think. It looks like the nanobots are just like any other beehive. They have a queen that's controlling them. Plus, I think they're self-replicating or something. Anyways, they have orders from the queen to complete their task, so they will not stop until they do. Or until I defeat the queen, Sonic said. Exactly, said Tails. Knock out the hive. Got it. Where's the queen gonna be so I can kick her tail? I don't know exactly, but I bet she's inside Knuckles' brain, so Tails said. Sonic nodded. Let's do this. Deep inside his hideout, Dr. Eggman welcomed his swarm of bees back into their mechanical hive. Like real honeybees, with the loss of their stingers, the robots would soon shut down forever. Eggman, disappointed the bees were unable to get to Sonic, took comfort in knowing that Sonic would soon suffer from watching his friend disappear. He pressed a button on the remote control to turn the nanobots' cameras on, and then turn on a computer monitor to watch. The nanobots inside Knuckles' body were busy replacing his biological parts with robotic parts.
This won't take long at all,
Eggman said as he laughed.
Whoa, Zenfinity, thank you so much for the raid-in. I hope you had yourself a very wonderful stream. I do believe, because I took a peek in previously, were you still playing the Subspace Emissary of... I totally forgot the name. It's called Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I hope you had yourself a very wonderful stream, raiding me for a change. Very, very much appreciated. And hey, welcome, Raiders, for those of you who don't know me. And how could you not? My name is Deven Mack, and I did the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog in Sonic Prime, as well as
Chaos Sonic,
Orbot, and Cubot. Various voices in various things. And I play Sonic games every Go Fast Friday and Spin Dash Sunday. And today, we're reading some stories. Some definitely longer than 5-minute stories. But I hope that you enjoy sticking around for the ride. If you need to take a rest, take a break, grab a drink, grab a snack, by all means, feel free to do so. You do not have to hang around here if you have got other stuff happening. But once again, the raid is very, very much appreciated. And thank you for dropping on by. I suppose I must also legally mention that I legally share this channel with a somewhat, sometimes obnoxious cartoon raccoon VTuber by the name of Raccoon from a certain magical terrain of expertise. And legally I'm allowed to stream because it's a Friday. But he will be here on Raccoon Tuesday, and legally I have to allow it. Alright, so with that said, why don't we carry on? Knuckles has just been stung by a bunch of robotic bees, and now he is gradually turning into a robot himself. They were intended for Sonic, but Eggman will take a win wherever he can get one. Alright, so with that said, why don't we keep going? So now he's going to enter inside of, yes, he's going to enter inside of Knuckles in order to save him. And Lizzie, hey, thank you so much for dropping by as well. I'm glad you enjoyed my work on Sonic Prime. Here we go.
Sonic stood in front of the shrink ray, He was angry. Angry that Eggman had attacked. Angry that Knuckles got hurt. Angry that he was so hypnotized by the bees in the first place. But even as angry as he was excited to fight the nanobots inside Knuckles. This was an adventure and a rescue mission all in one. And one that required him to go fast before it was too late. And Sonic loved going fast. Tails gave Sonic a handheld digital map of Knuckles' innards. Gross. A flashing dot showed Sonic his location on the map. He'd be able to use it to find his way around the maze of Knuckles' organs. This is okay. Let's not get too graphic here. And also, Pandai Cosplays, thank you so much for that follow. That is very, very much appreciated.
This might tickle,
Tails said as he flipped the switch on the shrink ray. A blast of green-white light burst out of the machine, and an instant later, Sonic disappeared from sight, shrunk into an almost microscopic level. Tails used a pair of tweezers to pick Sonic up from the ground. He and Amy were careful not to speak, as the sound waves from their voices could have moved Sonic like he was blown by a massive hurricane. Carefully, Tails set Sonic into the metal spot on Knuckles' arm. It looked to Sonic like the doorway into a massive steel castle. He stepped inside and found a metallic hallway that led to an opening of muscle tissue. They really got descriptive here. Sonic ran to the muscle tissue and looked around the inside of Knuckles' arm. He was amazed by what he saw. The nanobots were all moving rapidly throughout the arm, replacing nerves, muscles, ligaments, and other tissues with robot parts. It was almost like the nanobots were overriding these tissues with their technological organs.
This place is crazy,
Sonic said, pushing a button on the map device.
How do I get to Knuckles' brain?
Oh, this should be fun. Okay.
Follow the nerves in Knuckles' arm to get to his brain,
the computerized voice of the map device said. Sonic looked around the city of body tissues until he spotted what looked to be power lines running throughout. There were small electrical sparks crackling along the power lines. Nerves. Sonic began to run alongside the nerves. He picked up speed, racing toward the brain, where all the nerves would come together. Suddenly, a pair of nanobots cut him off as he ran. Sonic curled himself into a ball to avoid smashing into the nanobots. Rolling to a stop directly in front of the robotic bacteria, Sonic watched as the nanobots began planting their technological body parts over the nerve Sonic was following.
Knock it off, you guys. You're really getting on my nerves,
Sonic said.
Actually,
Sonic's, I read that wrong. I'm gonna do it again. Shame on me. Shame on me.
Knock it off, guys. You're getting on my nerves,
Sonic said.
Actually, Knuckles' nerves, I guess. Whatever. Just stop.
The nanobots turned for a brief second to glance at Sonic and returned to their work. Sonic smirked.
That's how you want to play it? Fine. That's how we'll play it,
Sonic said. Sonic ran towards the nanobots and threw a mighty punch at the one closest to him. The nanobot shattered into 1,000,000 pieces. The second nanobot continued to work on the nerve. Surprised and emboldened at how easily the first nanobot was destroyed, Sonic wound up and blasted the second nanobot with a massive punch. It shattered just as easily as the first. Sonic laughed.
Whoa! This isn't gonna be hard at all. These things are totally wimpy,
he thought to himself. No sooner had he finished that thought than another pair of nanobots arrived and began working on the nerve exactly where the first two had been. Sonic destroyed those, and they were immediately replaced by another set. He was gonna need to get to the Queen. Sonic jumped back into running along the muscle tissue. Because Knuckles was strong, his muscles were firm and tight. Clearly written by a Knuckles fan. It was actually the perfect type of stuff to be running on. With the power line-like nerve crackling above him, Sonic ran as fast as he could, heading up to Knuckles' brain. Dr. Eggman had stepped away from his monitors for only a minute. Even mad scientists have to eat once in a while. But when he returned, he heard the computers blaring an alarm.
Warning, warning, intruder, damage to nanobots. Warning, intruder,
Damage to nanobots, computer repeated. Dr. Eggman hurriedly sat down and examined the monitors. He could see the nanobots Sonic had destroyed. He pressed some buttons to change to different cameras, and then he saw it. The blue blur he hated more than anything in the world. Sonic, he hissed. Typing quickly into his computer, Eggman ordered the nanobots to attack Sonic. Dozens of nanobots inside Knuckles' body left their tasks of roboticizing and moved in a mini swarm to Sonic's location near Knuckles' shoulder. Maybe I'll get the Sonic I want after all, Eggman said, pleased. Sonic had been running and dodging obstacles, both biological and technological, throughout Knuckles' body. He was nearing the collarbone. That's a word I know how to say. He was nearing the collarbone and neck. Just a little farther, and Sonic would be in Knuckles' head, on his way to the brain. But that would have to wait for another minute. Sonic screeched to a halt, sliding on Knuckles' collarbone. I did it. I said the word. Eggman's mini swarm of assault nanobots gathered around him. They looked a lot like the swarm of bees that had distracted Sonic earlier. But he wasn't gonna let him get hypnotized by them this time. Close enough. The nanobots encroached, and Sonic blasted them away. He ran in a circle, creating a whirlwind that yanked several nanobots from the swarm and smashed them against each other in the funnel of wind. He rolled himself into a ball and bowled over another group of the nanobots, sending another nanobot flying forward with shrapnel flying everywhere. He spun into the air, kicking through countless more. In a few short moments, the attacking nanobots had all been destroyed. I'm not gonna wait around for replacements to show up, Sonic said as he hurled himself back into the action. Sonic arrived at the base of Knuckles' neck. The nervous system turned upwards, but there wasn't much he could run on to follow it to the brain. Sonic noticed Knuckles' windpipe was right in front of him. If he could catch the wind current when Knuckles breathed out, he could ride that up into Knuckles' head. Watching the movement in Knuckles' neck in order to time his leap, Sonic stepped backward to give himself room to run. At the right moment, Sonic sped forward and jumped into the middle of Knuckles' throat. For a brief second, Sonic panicked that he'd mistimed the jump and Knuckles was breathing in, the air pushing Sonic downward. But before he could even finish that thought, Sonic felt his body soaring upwards on a stream of air carrying him into Knuckles' head. Sonic moved toward the back of Knuckles' head, near the base of his skull. He followed the hundreds of nerves that had converged at Knuckles' spine and climbed up into his friend's brain. I'm actually in Knuckles' brain. That's so weird, Sonic whispered to himself. Sonic could see a cluster of nanobots that surrounded a larger nanobot, the Queen. Oh, and here's Sonic smashing through one of those nanobots. Very creepy indeed. I will not disagree. Sonic could see a cluster of nanobots that surrounded a larger nanobot, the Queen. There was no time for hesitation. Sonic zoomed from the base of the brain straight to the Queen and her minions. He moved so quickly that the minion nanobots didn't put up any sort of fight. He caught them off guard. Leaping from the carnage of the shattered minions, Sonic landed atop the Queen nanobot. With super speed, Sonic curled his body into a ball and charged toward the Queen nanobot in a mighty spin attack, blasting the Queen into oblivion. The Queen destroyed, Sonic looked around in awe as the carcasses of the other nanobots disappeared. By destroying the Queen, Sonic had caused all the bees to self-destruct. The plan worked. Knuckles was free of the nanobots. Mission accomplished, Tails. As if there were any doubt, Sonic said to himself as he glanced at the map of Knuckles' insides. So, how do I get out of here? Sonic asked the map. The map told him to go back down. Well, why isn't it written there? Why isn't it in quotations? I'm gonna pretend it is. Go back down near the windpipe and take a left at Knuckles' nose. His nose? Gross, Sonic said. Eggman roared in anger. By destroying the Queen, Sonic had destroyed all the nanobots and bees Eggman had ever created.
Next time, Sonic! Next time!
Eggman promised. A few hours later, after Sonic had climbed out of Knuckles' nose and Tails had unshrunk him, the team gathered around Knuckles, who was still on Tails' lab table. I assume Sonic had taken a shower at some point. "How you feeling, Knuckles?" Amy asked. Ugh, was pretty much all Knuckles could say. "Thanks for taking the hit for me," Sonic said. "I mean, I probably would have stopped them at the last minute, but still." Tails rolled his eyes. Knuckles looked at Sonic. "You'd have done the same for me, but next time you have to shrink down and go inside my body, don't climb on my spine. I still feel your footprints back there." "Deal," Sonic laughed. And that is the not-so-fantastic journey, which now the title makes a whole lot of sense. Alright, well, that is gonna be it for this story time. I'm actually gonna save one more for Spin Dash Sunday. And probably, I'm gonna get back to, yo, Hathor, thank you so much for dropping by, and Ruby Rose, it is great to see you as well. Yeah, I'm gonna probably be playing more of Sonic Rumble, which I've been thoroughly enjoying. So y'all can look forward to that here next Spin Dash Sunday, along with the one remaining story in this book. What is it called? That is Doppelganger. Okay, I'm assuming there will be multiple Sonics involved, or two Sonics involved. We'll see when we get there. And good night, Rodent Knight. Hey, now you don't have to stay up way super late. But thank you again, and Nova, thank you again for dropping by. This works out perfectly. You got your bedtime story. Yeah, and hopefully see you next Spin Dash Sunday. I'm gonna still hang around for a little bit if anybody has any sort of questions about Hedgehog type stuff, voice actory type stuff. I am, or Ninjago type stuff. We've had some Ninjago related questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Oh, sadly we did not have Volk in that story, says Postmodern Serial. I like your name. I mean, man, if only Knuckles had been infected with sickness. Man, maybe there's another story. I feel like there's gotta be another story about a plague at some point. We did kind of get, well, there was that gooey stuff, but I don't know if I'd still call it a plague. That was in the first group of stories that I read. But I'm always happy to see some kind of Dragalia Lost mentioned. So thank you for that, and thank you so much for dropping by. Dakota Brown, thank you, and Deven Black with an O, thank you both for dropping by as well. And Amethyst Majesty, I see you. And yeah, oh man, I gotta go in on Dragalia. I even have this was kindly made for me by Honkita, who is a huge Dragalia fan, repping Durant and Joaquim, my precious Dragalia dog boys. That is also why I have two wolves right here. And some would say within all of us are two wolves. Oh snap! We have the hype train thing going, and Postmodern Serial with the 10 community subs. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for being all kinds of awesome. Postmodern Serial does to me seem like the very best cereal. Yo, thank you so much for that. That is so kind, so sweet of you, and very much appreciated. So everybody with your new subs, please do enjoy those subs. Dragon Slayer asked earlier, what's my favorite pie flavor? I would say apple pie, because it's the one that I have, it's the one that I've mastered.
Yo, again, this is so cool, and again, very kind of you. This is wild. Your VA work on Sonic and Dragalia Lost is incredible. Thank you again so much. That was the first video game, surprisingly, because I'm not, as much as I love my time with Flash games, I'm looking at you, Vile. It was my first time being in like a commercially released, produced style video game, and I wish it was still very playable in the way that it was intended to be played, but I'm still really honored that I got to do it, that I can officially say I was in a Nintendo game, and I made a lot of amazing friends working on that game as well, so it'll always be very special to me. And who knows, maybe even now, I might still stream it again at some point in time. And also, happy late birthday, Dakota Brown. I missed that if it was mentioned earlier. Sonic Select says, I absolutely adore your take on Sonic. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. I will. Now, I don't know if I will ever be voicing Sonic again. I mean, you never know what the future has in store. But the fact that I got to do it at all is something I will always be very humbled by and grateful for, because I never saw it coming. It's just one of those weird surprises that life can have in it. And Pink Ninja, I am glad you are an apple pie fan. I won't necessarily say that it is the best kind of pie, but it is definitely my favorite, and I have got my apple pie down to a science. To the point where if I do not show up to a recording session of Ninjago with a pie, people will be like disappointed, like, where's the pie? You're supposed to be the pie guy. Oh yeah, you gotta have cinnamon. Gotta have that cinnamon. And, which not every recipe includes, but this is a difference maker for me. There are two difference makers. There is nutmeg, and it has to be freshly ground. It can't be the kind that you buy in the packets that are all ready to powder. No, you gotta get the little seeds. You gotta get yourself a grater and go and you gotta make it that way. It's got so much more flavor, so much. Why am I doing Italian stuff? I'm definitely not Italian as far as I know, but it's got it's just it's not right if it's not done that way as far as I'm concerned. And Alyssa, thank you so much for dropping by as well. I'm doing pretty well. I had a fun time reading the stories. There will be more stories that will be read next Spin Dash Sunday. So if you happen to have the time, and I will be once again doing the dual stream onto YouTube as well, I will be reading the Doppelganger story, which will definitely take me more than 5 minutes, probably more like 15. This story is slightly false advertising. Not that I'm complaining, it's the best kind of false advertising, when you get more than you expect. It would be cool if you got to do it again for either more seasons for Prime, or who knows, maybe a cool multiverse crossover game. That would be really amazing. Yeah, again, we'll see. We'll see. I know that there is more story to tell. I know about certain characters that some on the story side wanted to introduce, but they didn't get to. And here's hoping that it happens. I don't know how likely it is, possibly not the most likely thing in the world, but I would even be happy to see the story get to continue in a comic book form of some sort. I know the comic that's planned by IDW is just going to be an adaptation of what's already happened in the show, but I need to know what's going to happen to my precious son, Tails 9, who never did anything wrong, much like Aaron. Neither of them ever did anything wrong. And I need that. I need Chaos Sonic to be rebuilt so 9 can have a friend. I need that. I desperately need that. Sonic Multiverse crossover game would be tough if it were to include me, unless it were a direct adaptation of Sonic Prime, like beat for beat, it would make the most sense for it to be Roger, considering, I know this is controversial, but the official word is that our Sonics are the same Sonic. So you would be able to have him and Ben Schwartz and Jaleel White and even OVA Sonic, but modern Sonic is all Ryan Drummond, Jason Griffith, Roger Craig Smith, and we are all technically the same guy. So having us all together, we would need to be given different characters for it to truly work. Pink Ninja says, "Hey, Seven, I had a funny headcanon where your character Aaron has a crush on my character by the name of Cat." Okay, I'm not exactly sure. I cannot deny that people do like somebody who can bake pie, I imagine. Yeah, I what can I say? He's a cute good little Lego boy, so I can see why. Let's see. Sally says, "What's your favorite part of the story that mostly like Dev?" I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you were asking. Could you try to? Oh, do you mean what's my favorite story in here? What was my favorite story of the ones that I read? If so, let me know. I'm not sure what story you mean. Dodger says, "Doing a fan-made manga of Sonic Heroes, retelling that'll be premiering in 2025 as part of Sega's 65th anniversary." Yo, right on. That means I'm probably gonna have to try to play Sonic Heroes before that is actually released, so I know what I'll be getting into with no spoilers. I'm knocking things off my shelf that I'm not intending to knock off my shelf. I do have it right here. And one of these days I'm gonna play it. What is my favorite food? I would probably say plantain, which you might not know, or maybe you do. It is very, very popular in the Caribbean. It's like a banana. It's very much in the banana family, but it also has it's kind of harder and firmer. It's almost like if you combined a banana with a potato, and it's got a little bit of a tanginess to it, just a slight tanginess, and it is amazing. I like to fry it with just a little bit of oil, and that's all you need. It is I don't know how popular it is in Spain. I was gonna say Spain. No, I'm being very silly. I don't know how popular it is in Mexico, but there are various Latin American countries and some within America who refer to it as platanos. Macho plantain or plantain. I'm not sure if maybe there it gets called plantain. Caribbean, we call it plantain in the Caribbean. But okay, so it is okay. It is popular there. Okay, nice. I can vibe with that. Now I know some cultures do something with it that is a little bit I don't want to do that in particular because I love its natural flavor. But there are some where they put and I was so heartbroken because when I was hanging out with a friend, he just poured this all over the ones that were already perfect and ready to go for me. Some cultures put a lot of salt on it and ketchup and will kind of do it like French fries. But for me, it's I love its natural sweetness already, so I wouldn't be inclined to put that on there. But again, to each their own. That's just I like it as it is. I think in the Dominican Republic, I know they do that. I'm not sure who else does. But they also do this really cool thing that we don't do where I'm from. My background is more St. Lucian, and Grenadian. And also I have a lot of, although I guess probably some family members that are also Jamaican and Trinidad over there. So what we don't do that they do in the Dominican Republic is they will like cut it thicker than we do and then sort of like mash it down with a fork, and then it fries in a totally different way. And I'm like, yo, that's wild. I could talk about plantain forever. I'm sorry, I did not expect a 5 to 10 minute plantain tangent. I like plantain. What can I say? That's my favorite thing. That's my number one favorite thing. I'm glad you like the way I say platanos. I hope I'm saying it correctly. I have a friend who is Puerto Rican, and the way that she says it, I'm trying to get close, and I'm not sure if I'm quite right. But yes, there's a lot of really good. Me love me Caribbean food. Well, not so much these days, but I did grow up with ackee and saltfish, and bakes and fish cakes. Do I speak Spanish? I do not know any Spanish. I was trying to think of some words, and I just realized no. I don't. Everything that I'm trying to think of in Spanish right now is just French, and even then I barely know French. Si is a word. Si, senor. That's a word. That's a word. Raccoon taught me El Mapache Loco. I know that. That's all I know. That's all I really know. Which means the crazy raccoon. Hola, ¿cómo estás? How's it going? You know way more than me. I've heard people say that. Hola. Oh wait. Aloha? Are we getting into Hawaiian? Isn't it hola, amigo? ¿Qué pasa? Or is... Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I'm clearly so little of Spanish is permeated into my head, unfortunately. Rocky knows more Spanish than I do. Okay, aloha is Hawaiian. Okay. But still, very, very close. All the same letters are in there, including an extra one. What's your nationality? My nationality, well, Jamaican is Caribbean. Jamaican is part of the Caribbean islands. My nationality is West Indian. Well, what am I saying? That's another word for Caribbean, kind of. My nationality within the Caribbean. Well, Coots. I do happen to live there, but culturally, much more so my background and my connection is much more so with the Caribbean, particularly the islands of St. Lucia and Grenada, which is where my parents are from. So me have a little bit of the accent, but my accent is not particular to any one specific island because I have so many different influences. My island accent is just vague island accent, and so when I talk to somebody who's Jamaican or from Trinidad or from somewhere, they say, I cannot tell which island you are from, but you are definitely one of us. And I'm like, I'll take it, that's a win for me. Is it Apache or Mapache? I thought it was Mapache, but correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Mapache was raccoon with an M. Me a island man. Okay, it is Mapache. Okay, thank you. Okay, so if anybody's got any more questions, you should try to go to Sonic Expo in Dallas next year. I would love to go. The thing with me and conventions is I don't really do conventions unless I'm out there like as a guest, but I know that there is interest from them. There is definitely mutual interest. So if it can work out schedule wise, I would absolutely love to go there. So we'll see what the future has in store. You never know, but it would be nice. It would be nice to meet many Sonic fans. Some who might actually recognize me this time, which doesn't always happen, which doesn't often happen. Hey, King Jojo, thanks so much for dropping by. It is A-okay. Although I am done reading the stories for now, you can still scroll a little further back in the VOD and you can hear me reading a couple 5-minute stories that are longer than 5 minutes. But I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty A-okay. And I hope that you are well too. Samara asking, how is Rocky doing? And also, Cam XTS, I hope I said that correctly. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like my Sonic voice. Yeah, Raccoon is doing mostly okay. Again, he's not causing trouble for me. I did make a chili pizza for him earlier in the week, which is his favorite kind of pizza. That's pizza with a chili sauce, so it's like a chili dog, but with pizza. And a well-fed raccoon is a happy raccoon who is not causing mischief for me. So I'm glad for that. Do I know Transformers? Says Doomdog Lazy. Transformers, I did see and enjoyed Transformers 1. It's not my favorite piece of Transformers media, and I wasn't feeling the movie the entire time, writing-wise, but there was a moment during the, not to spoil it for anybody, but during the fall, when a certain character falls down. From that point onwards, the movie just like kicked into high gear, and I'm like, oh, this is great. This went from being like, I want to say probably something I'd give a 7 out of 10 to. It went to like a 9 right there, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm glad it seems to be doing pretty well, and it deserves that. I won't give spoilers for those who do like Transformers. But good to know that it wouldn't bother you just in case there were any. But yeah, I've enjoyed Transformers for a good long while. My favorite, Koos knows what's up. It was aired here as Beasties, but the more universal name is Beast Wars Transformers, which is probably my favorite. Has my favorite moments, but I also really like Transformers animated as well. They're really, really close for me. And I voiced 4 Transformers that are right here from Transformers BotBots, where I did the voice of Sprinkleberry Donut, who doesn't actually talk like that. All he ever says is BotBots. I voiced Dinger, who transforms into a baseball. And Frostferato, the cupcake vampire.
And Dimlet, my precious boy,
He is the flashlight transformer, and that show was very, very special and awesome to me. I got to be directed, I believe, for the first time by Allison Court, who is well known for voicing Lunette the Clown in The Big Comfy Couch, as well as it's coming to me, Claire Redfield from Resident Evil, and Jubilee from the 90s X-Men series. Yo, steak time, let's go. Thank you so much, Koos, for dropping on by. Really appreciate you being here, and have a great rest of your evening or night. Time zones are wonky donkey, one of those things. But yo, thank you so much for dropping by. Always nice to see you here. Pick Ninja, well, you did definitely mention this last time on last Sunday, so I do remember it being pink. It is right there in your name. So yeah, but again, I like that you like it enough to put it in your name. There's also someone else here that I know quite likes pink. Pink is a very nice color. Very soothing. All right. Let's see. Oh, and Dakota Brown says, have you been watching Superman and Lois season 4? I have not seen any of the. I have not really been tuned into a lot of DC stuff, so I haven't seen that. I did watch. At most, I watched like an episode of Supergirl because one of my friends / students was on it. Michael Johnston was on an episode of Supergirl. But I haven't really followed it. There's also that I don't remember its name, but there's that new Superman animated series that actually looks really, really fun. And I have not actually watched much beyond clips of it, but I need to reconnect that. Yo, Rocky Roads, thank you so much for dropping by. It is good to see you. I hope you are doing well. Rocky showed me some in-progress animation that you've been doing, and it looks awesome. Sometimes he's just like so impressed with your work that he just is like, yo, Mackerel Man, you have to see this. My Rocky impression is terrible. Oh no, I hope he didn't hear me say that. Hope he's not watching. But yeah, it was really, really nice. I really, really liked it, and I look forward to seeing what it becomes. Samara, I am also quite a Batman fan as well. I don't watch all of the Batman media, but if there is a superhero that I connect to and relate to most, it is definitely him. Had a headcanon where Cat is officially the real Pink Ninja. Oh, that could be. I could definitely see a little bit of a rivalry brewing. Did I see the Wild Robot movie? No, I have not, but I've heard very, very good things. That is definitely on my list of things to see. That I will probably see Wicked very soon as well. And yeah, I've heard good things. My Adventures with Superman. That's the one. Yes, a lot of awesome people working on that. I love its art style, and I think I would really enjoy it. So I gotta make time to watch more things. That's the thing. I don't watch a lot of TV shows. I do not watch a lot of TV shows beyond basketball, specifically the Golden State Warriors. And I watched Survivor, and I try to watch most of the shows that I'm on, but I don't watch all of everything that I'm on. It's just so many shows and so little time. How often do I stream? I stream every Go Fast Friday and Spin Dash Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, to be specific. And then Raccoon streams usually on Raccoon Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. But if he's got something going on, then he will not stream that day. He will stream on whatever day he chooses, and I just have to deal with it. King Jojo asks what my favorite sport is. I am a basketball guy. I'm even wearing a basketball hat of the Seattle Supersonics, which is a team that does not exist anymore. But they are now known as the Oklahoma City Thunder. And Kevin Durant started out his career when they were the Supersonics. And I was a big fan of them just because of their name as a kid, because I thought Sonic was cool. And then they played against Michael Jordan and the Bulls, and they lost because everybody loses to Michael Jordan. The voice of... So I won't do quests. Quests? I swear I know how to talk. I won't do, like, things on request. But I am indeed Chef Hatchet in the reboot of Total Drama Island, as well as Total Drama Rama. That is indeed me. That is me on the thing. And hey, Pandai Cosplay saying I'm incredible. You're incredible. Thank you so much for the very, very kind words. And if your name is like a pun combining the word panda and die, then that's pretty awesome. I am here for combination words and puns. Those amuse me greatly. And I'm curious, if you do the cosplays, what was the last character that you cosplayed as? Yo, Blitzy French, thank you so much for dropping by. It's good to see you. That is indeed me, Mr. Deven Mack. I am that guy. And yeah, I'm glad, even though I won't do like people asking like, hey, can you say this thing in this voice? I will do like quotes and such of things the character has previously said. I don't want to go like too crazy with it, but I will do a little bit of that. Let's see. And also we have Movie Shadow the Hedgehog. Says, I don't know what to say, but hi. Hey, that counts. Those is words. Thank you so much for dropping by, and I'm glad you like my Sonic voice. My last cosplay was Sonic. Oh, nice! Just did it about 3 or 4 hours ago. Very, very cool. I wonder if I can pull that off somehow. If I can find the right sort of outfit. Not ruling it out. It might happen. This might happen. Do I have any other upcoming shows to voice, says King Jojo? Well, there's still Ninjago stuff that I'm doing. Trying to think, because it has been a slow time in the industry, unfortunately. But I'm still keeping busy enough with directing for Lila in the Loop for PBS Kids, which I'm not on, but I get to work with and coach all the actors. There is the spin-off of Paw Patrol called Rubble and Crew, which I am on, playing a character by the name of Omar, which is kind of just me doing an impression of a good friend of mine by the name of Bill Butts. Some of y'all who play, I'm forgetting the name of the game. I think it's Honkai Star Rail. I'm pretty sure it's Honkai Star Rail. If you've ever watched the videos they have on YouTube, he voices a character named Albert, which is just Bill being Bill. So I'm doing an impression of him, much to his amusement. So yes, that's the character I play in Rubble and Crew. As far as stuff beyond that, there's not a lot that's immediately coming to mind, but I still have like little guest appearances on shows here and there. Am I ready to see Shadow beat up movie Tails in Sonic 3? No, I'll never be ready. No, and it's gonna hurt me deeply into my soul. Although I might actually laugh. No, I won't. If Shut Up Tails is uttered at any point during the movie, I will have complicated feelings. Can I sing? I don't think I can sing at a professional level, but I can like decently hold a tune. Rocky's probably a better singer than me. I'm just being honest. At least he tries singing more than I do. But I'm not awful most of the time, is what I'll say. It's a canon event. Can it not be? What if it weren't? Super Sci-Fi says, not gonna lie, if I could afford to get one of those mascot quality suits of the characters that they use for like expos, I would have fun wearing one of those Sonic costumes. Not gonna lie, I would probably be right there with you. That I could see that being a lot of fun. You know what? He's not gonna mind me saying this because he's not gonna know that I said it. But Edward Bosco, who some might know from the Has Been Hotel pilot, he actually used to do mascot stuff at, I believe, Universal Studios as Scooby-Doo. So he had a lot of fun doing that as well. Although they didn't allow him to talk, they wouldn't let him do the Scooby voice because they, I guess, have a rule about not letting certain mascots speak. But he was allowed to do like licking sounds, like in the mascot outfit going. He could do that. But even so, even though they wouldn't let him do the Scooby voice, he had a lot of fun with it, and I feel like I have a lot of fun with something similar. Who would win, Movie Sonic or Movie Shadow? Sonic always wins. Sonic always wins. Sonic always wins. And you're not gonna get any other answer from me. It's what it has to be. Spicy Boom, Shadow, and Friends, thank you so much for dropping by. Hey there, hi there. And Pablito says, Mario, I like a spaghetti. Mario does indeed enjoy a good pasta. As do I, to be honest. One of the first things I learned how to make. Can you tell jokes, as in like be a bit of a comedian? I mean, I don't write jokes most of the time. Well, except for when I do, not normally. Could I do stand-up comedy though? Not in a million years. I don't like being on stage. Don't like being on stage, getting judgment from people who might be not very nice if they don't like the show. Couldn't do it. I have friends who do, and I am in awe of them. But couldn't be me. However, can I take writing and make people laugh at it? I sure hope so, because it's what I do for a living at times. So if somebody gives me, which is good that I kind of started out doing like Newgrounds Flash animations that were oftentimes written by unfunny young teenagers who were like maybe like 13, 14. I got a lot of bad scripts, but I had to find ways to make people laugh at them. And so now, working professionally, I get good scripts, and it's like, now I'm really gonna eat. If I can make people laugh at things that aren't funny on paper, which is very important to learn how to do, a good script for me is like, okay, now it's time. I'm gonna make you laugh like crazy. So I might not be a comedian in the traditional sense, but I can make people laugh at pretty much whatever I want them to laugh at. Pandy Cosplay says, I have stage fright too. I don't like the eyes. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Every time, the few times I've had to be on stage, I just kind of like zone out and kind of like put them out of focus, because I know if I look anybody dead in the eye, I'm done. It's over. It's over. So I try to not think about it. What's my favorite Sonic soundtrack? Ooh, that's a good one. I might say, as a certain raccoon likes to say around here, Sonic Mania, which most know as Sonic Mania. Amazing, amazing work by Lee Topez. That's the one that's coming, or is it T. Lopez? I keep getting which consonant goes where. One of those. Shame on me. But yes, I really like the music in that one. That's probably my favorite. All right. So I've gone a little further than I intended to for this stream. So I'm gonna currently see who's going on that we could potentially send a raid to. But I'll take maybe 2 more questions in the meantime. Let's see. Is such and such streaming? Oh. Somebody that I thought would be streaming right now is actually not streaming right now. Okay. Okay. I know who I can raid though. I definitely know who I can raid. Super Sci-Fi says, it's been fun hanging out with you, Dev. Catch you later. I don't know what TTFN means, but I will look that up. Thank you so much, and have yourself a great night. Do I know how to dance? I know how to dance just well enough to make people who can't dance think that I know what I'm doing. That's what I'm gonna go with. I just kind of like instinctually, you know, I got some rhythm. I got some moves. I got some flow. But as far as like all the real fancy cool stuff, it ain't happening. Ta-ta for now. I like that. Wonderful. All right, let's maybe grab. Oh, this is a nice chill casino night vibe. I like this. All right, let's see. I'm gonna look at YouTube chat. Who's my favorite? Who's that Pokemon? Asks Blitzy Fresh. My favorite Pokemon, and in fact, the first character voice I think I ever learned how to do.
Is me out. That's right. I'm gonna capture that Pikachu. Then the boss will make me the top cat.
I love him. I love Team Rocket so much. He's just a silly guy. He's a silly guy, and he's gone through so much that it's hard not to cheer for him, not to cheer for all of them. I love their sense of humor, and I love that silly, silly voice. And if not for Meowth, if not for Team Rocket, Raccoon would not be the way he is, for those of you who know that character. Squirtle! Squirtle is a wonderful choice. I do have Squirtle high up on my list of favorites. But as far as number one, Meowth stands alone. Did you work on Marvel Rivals? I did not work on Marvel Rivals. I did not audition for Marvel Rivals. I'm not sure where it auditioned out of, but probably not going to play it. Generally, I don't play much here outside of Sonic games or games that I have worked on, or in my case, game that I have worked on. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Things are, you never know what might happen. Have I ever voiced Pikachu? Not well, and definitely not officially, and I never will. Although, well, who knows? We did end up with Pikachu being voiced by Ryan Reynolds and my friend KG Tang in Detective Pikachu the Games. So, who knows? Maybe I could end up being Pikachu somehow, but not anytime soon. And both Ryan Reynolds and KG Tang are doing a wonderful job. As well as, can't remember her name off the top of my head, but her official voice actress is incredible. Okay, and let's see. What's your favorite funny moments about Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog? Oh man, oh, this is a tough one. Because it's a really, really funny show, and there's a lot of weird stuff in it. Okay, because I don't know what to go with, I'll just say, like, I love when characters just like morph into like random things for no reason, or objects appear out of nowhere.
Like when Robotnik is really angry at Scratch and Grounder,
And for whatever reason, his head just turns into like a giant train whistle for like 5 seconds. That stuff is, I like that. I very, very much like that. Pink Ninja says, do I like adult jokes? Not most of the time. Not most of the time. The vibe of my streams is PG, because that's just very much me as an individual most of the time anyways. There are some shows that aim towards an older, more adult audiences that have jokes that are not for the kiddies, and sometimes I laugh at those, but it's not my number one preference. I tend to like stuff that anybody can enjoy. Okay, let's see. Oh, we got that Sonic Advance music going on. Very nice. That's a game that I need to play here at some point and finish. And because I do have a Game Boy Advance player for my GameCube, I can do it the proper legal way. Hartina, thanks for dropping by. Do I like Pokemon? I guess you could say I like Pokemon, although I haven't ever actually played any of the games other than Red and Blue back when they came out, and then Fire Red and Leaf Green on Game Boy Advance, and the original Pokemon Stadium. Those are the only Pokemon games that I think I've actually played. So I'm not like up to date with the current stuff, although I've heard really good things. I almost got lured into playing the Arceus game that's on Switch, and maybe someday I will. But I'm definitely not like somebody where I would call myself like I'm a fan who knows a lot about Pokemon. I know some about the first generation. Pokemon Stadium was wild. Oh, seeing those good graphics and hearing Tracy's voice was very, very funny to me. I loved anytime you'd bring out a Magikarp. What's the point of splashing? That game had some good times with it. And also the mini games, the like Mario Party style mini games were great. All right, so I think at this point I'm going to start to wind down here. I'm gonna check because I've been so bad at it. I'm gonna check in one more time with the YouTube chat. What are your thoughts on Sonic X Shadow Generations? I really liked it. And hey, it's Marquise. Thanks so much for dropping by. I really, really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite Sonic games. It's not my very, very favorite, but it is in my top 10, possibly in my top 5. I'd have to do a re-ranking. But it was really, really nice to see a game that was so universally praised, which is not always the case with Sonic games. And that Shadow stuff, which sadly I didn't get to play it, only Raccoon technically got to play it on the streams here. I did the Sonic portions, he did the Shadow portions. But man, that Shadow stuff was so fast and so like bright and flashy, especially on the Space Colony arc. It made me think of an F-Zero game, and I love F-Zero. So I enjoyed looking at it. Very pretty to look at, lots of great voice work, and was pretty neat. Was pretty neat. All right, and maybe I'll take this as the last one. Team Pocoyo and friends asking, what character do I play in Sonic Prime? I am Sonic the Hedgehog in Sonic Prime.
As well as Chaos Sonic. I am not Metal Sonic. I'm my own original character.
And I am... No, turn back on.
I am also the voice of Orbot and Cubot
in Sonic Prime as well. Alright, so I'm gonna take that one last question now that I wanted to take. Where was it? If offered the chance, would you voice Aaron in Fortnite? Money for me? Money for me. I'm not gonna say no to money for me. And also Aaron is a good boy, so hey, Fortnite, Ninjago, if you wanna do a thing, money for me. I'll take it. How would you rate Sonic Underground? A fantastic theme song. That's how I'm rating Sonic Underground. Okay. So, and Anime Phase, thank you for dropping by. The Sonic Prime voice actor here chilling on the stream. Ian Hanlon, who voices Shadow, he does stream as well on Twitch. It's a channel that he shares with his partner, Caitlin Bearstow. So if you would ever like to check them out, here is them. He's not just Shadow in Sonic Prime, he's also Big the Cat. And yeah, they're wonderful, good friends. And they stream, I'm not sure if they have a particular schedule, but they stream semi-regularly. Okay, I think I'm now ready to wind down, send things elsewhere. But thank you so much, everybody, for dropping by. I'm gonna be here on Spin Dash Sunday, playing some Sonic Rumble, and reading the final story in here, the Doppelganger. And before we are up on out of here, I'm going to initiate a raid to a friend by the name of Little Karibo. And he is currently not playing something Yu-Gi-Oh! Related. He is playing Super Robot Wars 30, which looks kind of super duper fun. So this looks like some sort of strategy type, mecha type game. Alright, that is where we are headed. And I guess I'll just put the link over there on Twitch. I'll put it in the YouTube chat as well, because I do not have the ability to raid him through there. But thank you so much, everybody, for dropping by on both sides of things. I hope that you are here if you can make it on Sunday. And I appreciate all of y'all. Until next time, as I always say around here, work hard, work smart, be good to others, and be good to yourself because you deserve it. Until next time, bye-bye.